The dangers of social comparison. Social comparison theory states that individuals determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others they perceive as somehow faring better or worse than them at life. Today, we live in a world of constant social media comparison. Every single time you log into your phone, onto Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you see people doing incredibly well. Highlight reels of people's lives, people smashing it, people overcoming challenges, people making a shitload of money, people looking absolutely shredded. Now, this is positive on the outside when you think about it. People are thriving out there. And what actually ends up happening is quite worrying. When we live our lives based on social comparison and completely using social media to gauge the success that we're having in our lives, it can cause a lot of anxiety and it can be the absolute recipe for depression, demotivation, and feelings of inadequacy, feelings that you are not doing too well in life, even if you are doing well comparatively. So this feeling of not doing enough, not being enough, can slowly become a persistent voice in your head, which then in turn leads us to not believing that we are good enough. And if you are anyone who has dreams or aspirations of doing something in your life, the slightest bit of demotivation, the slightest doubts in what you're doing in the journey that you're taking is enough to derail you from living the life that you desire, living the life that you dream of. Now, just the other day, I got up, I walked out of bed, I went into the kitchen, I had some water, I went through my morning routine feeling really excited for the day ahead. And after a few minutes of doing my morning routine, which chops and changes every now and then, but generally is pretty solid, it's time where I can just have some time and space to myself to think about the day ahead. And everything was going really well. Until I opened my phone. And first thing, I opened up WhatsApp. Cool, got a few messages from my brother and the people I work with. Then I proceeded to open up my emails. Got a few client emails in there, I'll deal with them later. I then opened up Instagram. And one by one, I saw people who are making 50 to 100K per week. I saw someone who sold their business for £1 million plus on the weekend. I saw someone who went on an amazing life-changing trip on their holidays. I saw someone getting married. I saw someone creating and running the business that I dream of having one day. And slowly, one by one, that enjoyment, that excitement I felt towards the day, the excitement I had to go out there started to wane. And a little creeping voice started to build up in my head telling me that you ain't doing good enough. You ain't winning, bruh. You ain't winning. And every single post that I saw and I read and I consumed took me further and further away from that awesome feeling I had at the moment I woke up after a good night's sleep. And what was happening was I was falling into the trap of social comparison. And I was comparing my life to other people's lives and to their highlight reel. So I then proceeded to close my phone and I just thought to myself, damn, I feel shit now. I don't feel good, I don't feel excited. I feel like I am so far behind everyone else online that I must be doing something wrong. Where in actual fact, I am living my life according to my highest value. So why on earth am I looking at people's lives online and saying to myself, there's something wrong with what I'm doing? And it was in that moment I knew that something needed to change and I needed to implement something different to stop this social comparison happening, because I started to doubt my own business, my own way of showing up in the world, because I saw other people telling me how I should be doing so. A lot of people online right now are giving away advice for free. And one of the downsides and the negative aspects of that is that people are often giving advice that is unwarranted. They are giving unsolicited advice. And one of the first things that you learn when becoming a coach is that you don't give unsolicited advice. But the key is to ask better questions. And right now, if you open up social media and you don't have a solid grounding in your own values, you're going to get wrecked. The same way I got wrecked that morning and countless other mornings. Now, provided this is not a black and white issue right now, because there are benefits to seeing people do well online because it can give you a source of inspiration. But if it is becoming a toxic self-comparison thing, which I massively suffer with, then it can bring you down and really destroy your own self-confidence and your own self-worth, which, my friend, I'm here to tell you, is a tragedy. Theodore Roosevelt called comparison the thief of joy, and he might have been right. In fact, I know he was right. Social comparison can motivate people to improve, but it can also promote judgmental, biased, and overly competitive or superior attitudes. Most people have the social skills and impulse control to keep their standards for social comparison to themselves and not to act on any envy or resentment spurred by comparison making, but their true feelings may manifest in other ways. So like with anything, there's a dark and a light side. Think about the yin and yang. And as with social media, there is a negative side to it where you fall into the traps of social comparison. But there is also a hugely beneficial and powerful part to it where you can use it as a source of inspiration. Now, the key and the point that I'm trying to get across to you here is that if you want to step away from the negative effects of social media, social comparison, then you need to reframe the way you see yourself. And the key is a move away from being a consumer of social media into becoming a creator of social media. We want you to become a creator and not a consumer. So let's break down exactly what a consumer is and exactly what a creator is. And just a caveat here, I am oftentimes in the consumer mode, but I'm trying my best to move more into the creator mode, and it is bringing me more joy and fulfillment as a result. Now, a typical consumer looks like this. Social media is their benchmark for reality. We mindlessly scroll and quite literally consume content that is unrelated to our life. We embody and adopt other people's opinions and advice over our own inner knowledge. A consumer is stuck in a loop of constant upward social comparison. Consumers feel shit when they see other people's content. Consumers use social media when they need a hit of dopamine. And consumers use social media to pass the time and when they feel bored. So you know the feeling when you feel bored, you pick up your phone and you start using it, you start scrolling through social media. Those are very common traits of a consumer. But now on the switch side, let's look at the creator's traits. A creator uses social media as a platform for self-expression. Creators delete the social media apps when they are finished posting and interacting with people. So when I post something, I will delete the app and I'll move on with my life. I'll move on with my day. Creators know their own values and they have a way of filtering out external information that does not resonate with them. One of the biggest dangers of social media is hearing advice from Alex or Mosey that tells you that you need to be doing this, this, and this, where you as a unique individual does not need to be doing this, this, and this. It doesn't resonate with you. You're a different person. So that's why you need to be rooted in solid values in order to be a creator. Creators see inspiration online when they see other people winning. Creators celebrate other people's wins. Creators are comfortable in their own silence. Creators welcome boredom as a time for rest and a time for new ideas to arrive. Now, this needs to be an active decision in your life, and it does require discipline, and it does require you to manage those times when you feel like you are comparing yourself to others. And when you open up social media and you scroll and you see someone's content and you feel shit for it, that is a very easy, sure sign that you are comparing your life to them. And just knowing that social media is the highlight reel and that you can take inspiration from it. But always remember, my friend, that your life is your life. And J. Cole famously said in his song, you ain't gonna be happy until you love yours. That means you ain't gonna be happy until you love the people that are in your life, you love the business that you're running, you love the process that you're going through, you love your own flaws and imperfections, and you are able to celebrate and stack your own wins. Because the human mind has a propensity to focus on the negative things in our lives. So when a client gives us some bad feedback, when someone doesn't reply to us as we might expect them to, we remember those things more than the wins and more than the people's lives that we are changing. And so what you can start to do is notice and write down the successes and celebrate those friggin' wins, man. Because if you ain't gonna celebrate it, my friend, who the fuck is going to do it for you? And if you do not, you will fall into the trap of constant self-deprecation, self-comparison, and you will fall and you will immobilize yourself from taking forward action. So this message is to you to please delete the app after you finish posting on it and engaging and replying to DMs. And get back to creating and focusing on your own life and focus on getting your own mission and vision materialized into reality so you can help the people who need to be helped by you. All right, that's enough from me. Subscribe and like if you like this video. Comment and let me know if this resonates. All the best.